Hey, Gavin. Do you find yourself climbing mountains to eat eagle eggs?
I was just wondering about that, Kendall, because I was just thinking about all those times where, like, I was in my room wearing stretchy pants just because it was fun. I think maybe we should talk about the man who knows perhaps the most about these things.
This is true.
The
This is
one, the
true.
Jackalus Black.
Honestly, that's a good name, Jackalus. It's like jackalope, but
Or
more of a name
like
for a
Nicholas,
person.
but Jack. Jack is short for
Yeah.
Jackalus.
Well, yeah, but Jackalus. Anyways, today we thought we'd dive into an icon,
A
I'd say.
very popular and generally considered wholesome celebrity when it is hard to
Yeah.
find one.
But before we do that, though, Gavin, have you watched anything good recently?
Well, I don't know about good, but
Oops.
I'm just kidding. I'm trying to waste my time with things I don't want to watch or watching things I don't care about.
Uh huh.
Like the live action Avatar The Last Airbender, I did not watch, but instead rewatched
Uh huh.
the animated series,
The
and
original.
it is still
Good
so,
choices.
so good. So good.
Good choices. I have not watched the live action yet. Not sure I will. I might at some point just to have a proper opinion about it, but it's not
I
high
feel I've seen
priority.
everything I need to see about it, but I finished Avatar, started Korra, but I did watch the One Piece live action, and that show is just dang
Oh.
delightful from start to finish.
Have you seen the anime of
I have
One
not.
Piece?
I've
Neither have I.
been thinking about watching it, but it is quite an event because it's got over a
Uh huh.
thousand episodes.
It's very. There's a lot. I have not seen either, though I have a group of students right now that is obsessed with One Piece. Although I should ask them because I'm not entirely sure if they're obsessed with the live action or the original anime or
Well, from
both.
the many people that were telling me to
So,
watch the live action, they say that it and the anime are at least kindred spirits, and like if you watch the anime and compare it to the live action, it's obviously like truncated and sped up in some ways, but it doesn't, take away or
wow, something that was
yeah.
actually
Well,
done
it's
right,
because the
it
creator
seems
was
like.
on board and he's very controlling with One Piece in like a good
Uh huh,
way,
uh
it
huh. Well,
seems.
rightly
But
so.
it's like if we don't do it my way, we're just not doing it. Okay, great. Glad we got that
Oh,
taken care of.
my goodness.
What about you?
Jeez.
Anything
Yeah.
good grace your eyeballs in the last since we spoke?
I haven't been watching a lot of media recently. I did do a Band of Brothers rewatch because you never. I mean, why you never can get that it can never get old. Although it's really funny every time I'm surprised by how many familiar faces are in it, but they're so young and it's all like before they had their big break.
I've never
Um,
seen Band of Brothers.
it's very good. If you want to see a very baby James McAvoy who looks like one of my college
I
friends,
have
you should watch it.
seen pictures of baby McAvoy.
Also, Gabriel, not Gabriel. Maybe I think Gabriel from Supernatural is in it. Andrew Scott. I always forget his name, but Ross and
David Schwimmer.
Friends. Yep, David Schwimmer. I mean, that's just a very few brief honorable mentions. Oh, Lin Manuel Miranda shows up
What?
for a few episodes. I know he's very young. It's very funny, and he's so small.
I think the movie I've seen where James McAvoy was the youngest was probably Atonement.
I mean, this was 2001. This was like everyone was
I
very
think this was a little later because as an older
yeah.
seeming.
Well, and again, there's a lot of people that are in it for only like one or two episodes, and it's a lot of them are British because they filmed over in Europe. It's just funny because it's all like they just needed a bunch of young men, and then 5-10 years later, all of these guys that they had for very brief moments are like have shot off. So it's just very funny and entertaining.
Well, Atonement, I looked it up. It was 2007. I also remember James McAvoy
Mm-hmm.
and Penelope.
Oh my god, that's a show, movie, whatever you want to call it. It's a moment.
I remember when it first came out, and the big thing was like, "Oh my gosh, she has a nose. She has a pig nose." It was crazy, but I didn't watch it till I was like 25.
What year did... Wait, you didn't watch Penelope till you were 25? I definitely watched it when it came out. Which...
Okay, so
2006?
I guess technically Penelope is the youngest I've seen James
Dang.
McAvoy.
Aw, he's so little. I didn't even realize that was so old.
Yeah, I was in
Wow.
sixth
No, I
grade.
think it was just like we either got it from like the Red Box or from Netflix. I don't know. It was a movie that came out, and we were like, let's watch a new movie that came out.
But we are not here to talk about James McAvoy. Nobody cares about that little
Although we
Scottish
could,
beauty.
but not today.
We're here to talk Black. Jack Black.
Is that his real name, or is that just his like?
Jackalis Black, I believe is his full name.
I'm just wondering, like, did his? Oh no, that is not even his. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, did his parents purposefully make his name rhyme? But no, his full real name is Thomas Jacob Jack Black.
Jack Black is cooler.
It is. I mean, it rhymes. It flows well.
On a
Anyways,
completely unrelated note, I was watching this show on Dropout called Actually, and they did like a shiny question, which is like their special question, and it was regarding celebrities who basically use pen names, and it was called Find the Fake Michael. And before it even showed it, I was like, it's gonna be Michael Caine, and then it was.
Oh yeah.
Because Michael Caine's
Oh
real
my gosh!
name
Wait, that's
is
actually
Maurice
funny.
Joseph Micklewhite.
That was unexpected, but cool.
Well, Elton John's
Very
real name
cool.
is equally silly. It's Reginald Kenneth Dwight. But I'm sure
Jesus,
more
no
people
wonder
know
they have a
that
pen
because
name.
of Rocket Man.
Well, maybe that's a question for later, if we do sort of relevant topic. But Jack Black. I mean, he's just a character.
He's kind of an icon, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
This is it's kismet timing because I was looking on TikTok and it was one of those like slideshow things. And it was like celebrities that people don't like, and Jack Black was on that list. Which I found very surprising.
And I think it can be like just his energy is so off the rails sometimes, and some people don't like comedians. I don't know, but I've never found a huge problem with him. You just kind of have to have the sort of humor that he often exhibits in most of the movies he's in, most of his content.
I think that maybe it's just because we are his target audience, and
right,
a lot of people that we associate with are his target audience.
Well, and you and I grew up with him being kind of just all over.
Yeah, Nacho Libre, Kung Fu Panda, Gulliver's Travels,
School of Rock.
I didn't see School of Rock till way later in life.
That's okay.
Same with Tenacious D.
Yeah, and then they played with that when they made the Jumanji sequels to kind of invite some like additional audience into their audience. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know where to start.
I think this quote that I put on our notes kind of sums up kind of how I feel, and maybe many others feel. But it was like, Jack Black is the only person I don't need context for. Like, if I was abducted by aliens and Jack Black was just walking around, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
No, that's fair. Do you know who said that?
I don't. It wasn't it was just one of those like text post things on like the Reddit or Tumblr or something. It wasn't any
honestly,
that
does sum him up very well, because there's just, you can't really describe his personality or his energy or his characters in any one way. It's just Jack Black. Like, that is the description.
It also sort of harkens to the thing I know we've talked about in like film and acting classes, where it's like there are different types of actors. There's some actors that are always just kind of themselves, like Jack Black, Seth Rogen. Generally, it's comedian or comedic actors where they're like, it's not that they don't have range or are bad at acting, but they're hired for something very specific, and you know what you're getting when you hire them. You're not going to hire Seth Rogen to do Gladiator. He's not going to be.
Although
Spartacus.
honestly, Gladiator with a bunch of comedians would be.
Oh, of course I would watch that, but like Ridley Scott's not going to be like, Seth, I think you would be the perfect for Gladiator, not Russell Crowe. Nobody even likes that guy.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't. Well, okay. So let's see if we can describe this for someone who's never seen a Jack Black movie, or has only seen like clips. Like, iconically, School of Rock and Nacho Libre are the first two Jack Blacks I think of. And it's like,
I think if you really want to kind of capture maybe his essence or like kind of see pure Jack Black, you'd probably want to see something like Tenacious D because that's probably the
I mean,
closest
that's
to his
true as
actual
well.
character or like his personality.
I mean, because it is something that he made himself. It's I don't remember his partner's name, but
It's
him.
Kyle
So
knows his first name.
yeah, so that's his Tenacious D is his like band duo. Um, they've worked a lot with Steve Grohl, which is pretty
Dave
cool.
Grohl.
Just like yeah, or Dave Grohl. Yeah, why did I say Steve? Yeah, so they've worked a lot with Dave Grohl, which is so randomly cool. And then worked a lot with those guys just because of their friendship that they based. But I mean, I haven't listened to a ton of Tenacious D like content, but they have made like eventually they made like there's like a little cartoon and there's like little shorts and stuff. So it really branched off from what it
Well, it
originated as, which
actually
was just two
originated
guys making fun
as
music.
yeah their band, and then they had a show, and then they had the movie.
And then there's like yeah, but it just two guys having fun with music, and then they're funny, and it's funny, so and they can.
His his partner Kyle is also an elf, as one of the two guys pitching stories later on.
Oh.
Picture this: you
Nice.
bring in Miles Finch.
Oh my gosh, Miles Finch. Yes. Then we can
But I feel like
do that
you
another
know
time too. More
I
topics,
would
but
say Jack Black definitely has something very specific that you see in a lot of his movies, especially kind of now with Kung Fu Panda and like we were saying, School of Rock or Nacho Libre. But I still feel
mm-hmm.
like he does at least a wide variety, and I feel like he does a wide range. Like there was a little bit there where he was doing rom coms, like The
It
Holiday.
is a pretty wild range, yeah, for sure. Because you do have like your general comedies, School of Rock, Nacho Libre. Then you've got The Holiday. Then you've got randomly Tropic
Mm-hmm.
Thunder. Then you have he then he goes into kind of the action adventure with Jumanji. I mean, of course, those are comedies as well, but it's
He's not doing his
in the
regular
middle of the
Jack Black
forest.
shtick,
You know,
mm-hmm.
Goosebumps.
Where he's
Like
playing R.L.
he
Stein.
plays R.L. Stein, so he's all the weird, spooky. And then he's just done a lot of voice acting, which especially the last few years, I feel like he's really picked up in voice
Mm-hmm.
acting. But like randomly, he was in Ice Age. Didn't even know
Who
that.
was he in Ice Age?
Um, I don't know, some random guy that's named. But he's done a lot of like in the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of
They're
um
not all winners.
voice acting. Oh, the house with the clock in the
Oh yeah.
walls.
Sometimes you do Shallow
That's
Hal,
another
and
like.
sometimes you also do what's that other movie I just spaced on? Gulliver's Travels.
Oh, he's in some King Kong movies.
Oh yeah, he was in the
Oh yeah, Gulliver's
Peter
Travels.
Jackson King
Yeah,
Kong movie.
he's in a bunch of Foo Fighters um music videos, but that's just because they're like when you're friends with Dave Grohl, that just happens. Oh, he's one of the Sabertooths.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
an overactive saber-toothed tiger, Zeke was loud and hyper compared to the others in his pack. Shown with an extreme intent to maul other animals and eat them. Yeah, he's like the one that's just like
The violent one.
the violent one, but just the obsessive, like. I haven't seen Ice Age in probably 15 years, but if not more. So I might need to watch that again. And you just recognize him for sure. I mean, and he's, again, going off of like the, not in the bad way that he just kind of plays himself, but like he is just Jack Black. That's just who he is. There's plenty of, especially when he was in the Jumanji movies and Goosebumps and like the Mario Bros movie, like all these adaptions that are based on media. He there's a lot of like interviews and stuff of him talking to like Jacksepticeye specifically, but doing like interviews where he talks about like all the media, but it's like he is just still himself. Like they'll play Mario games, or there's one of him playing Five Nights at Freddy's with his kid, and they're like, it's still just Jack Black, but
I
playing
I
video
think
games.
the
Like,
thing that kind of draws like me and other people to Jack Black as a actor slash person is just like he doesn't seem to have let fame change him at all, and
mm-hmm,
he still
mm-hmm.
seems to just be this really nice, lovable dude. who just likes making movies and hanging
chill
out.
and having a laugh. I mean, yeah, there was a moment in the pandemic and maybe slightly before where he had a YouTube channel and he was just streaming games or doing let's plays, which I think is so iconic and fun. Some people found his channel and watched it just because it's like, oh, Jack Black has a YouTube and we like Jack Black, but there's plenty of his audience who like have no association or no thought of him beforehand and then just watch his channel because he's in gaming. But
I don't
it's
know if you.
iconic for sure.
There's a. I don't know if you remember this during the pandemic, but they kind of like remade Princess Bride, but with a bunch of different actors playing, the same like several roles, but it was different actors in every scene, and then they just kind of stitched it together. Jack Black was in it playing Wesley when he's trying to climb up the mountainside, and he's just like on his stairs, on his belly, trying to
Oh
climb
my
up.
gosh.
It's wonderful.
That's so
He's in
funny.
like full costume. It's great. But he's Jack Black, so he has
That's
a huge beard.
That's pretty funny. I don't think I actually watched that, but it would be
I didn't watch
iconic.
all of it. I just saw
Yeah.
some of the clips that were kind of floating around, and then I happened to watch part of it, and he was in it. And the other thing is like, this is probably a whole other opinions, but stunt casting in movies, he's like one of the few people that when they stunt cast, I don't feel like they're doing it just for like, I feel like he's gonna try, as opposed to like a Chris Pratt type who's just like, yeah, I'm Chris Pratting it up, doing the Chris Pratt shtick.
I mean, yeah, if you watch like Nacho Libre and him just rolling around and doing dumb shit. I mean, even same in like Jumanji. Like
I think it's because he commits. It feels, he's not.
he really does.
It's not just, all right, you're Jack Black and you're in this movie because you're Jack Black. He's like, all right, I'm gonna commit. If I'm gonna be Bowser, I'm gonna be Bowser.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I think that's the only thing I liked about the Mario Bros.
Didn't
movie
watch it.
was Bowser. That's fine. You don't have to. Speaking of that too, just like I think of Kung Fu Panda and how Po is just. It is Jack Black. Like in Ice Age, like we were talking about, Zeke is not really Jack Black. It's just him voicing this saber-toothed tiger. But when you think of Kung Fu Panda and you think of Po, it is the things that Po does, all the physical comedy, all the regular comedy.
And I feel like if
they did a really good job with that.
they did a version of a live-action Kung Fu Panda, obviously not. Let me just. Oh, I'm gonna fumble through this, but like. If Kung Fu Panda was made as a live action movie, not with animals necessarily, you know what I mean? Like if they just made that just kind of a movie, like martial artists, and Jack Black was kind of like Nacho Libre, I guess, but martial arts instead of luchador.
Yeah,
kind of like that. I feel like Jack Black could still do that physical stuff because he has a crazy high kick. Still, dude. I don't know if you've seen him on the carpets of Kung Fu Panda 4, but
I've seen him do a couple high kicks.
It's crazy high. And oh my gosh, do you remember the bit in Community? It's like halfway through season 1.
Oh yeah,
he's in Community,
yeah. Oh,
and he accidentally kicks Jeff in the face.
I mean, he is kind of he is known for his high kick.
So I guess that's what I mean. Is like I still feel like he could do that. That's all.
Oh, sure.
Not like they should make a live action Kung Fu Panda because that would be terrible.
No. No, not at all. I don't know why, but I'm just thinking of the saxophone meme. Everyone knows the saxophone meme, but that's another iconic Jack Black moment, playing the saxophone on Jimmy Fallon, I think, I believe.
And it's just because, he just does different stuff every time. You're not going to find too many interview clips that are just him saying the same stuff. And I think, most importantly, he just kind of seems game. He's willing to come and play and have a good time.
Yep, I mean, that's really what he seems, yeah. And I mean, yeah, you can watch, you watch him in movies, and like he does have like when he's performing, it's probably a little over the top and more dramatic than what he seems like in person. I mean, I've never met him, I don't know, but compared to like interviews, he still has that energy, but it is definitely like calmed down a little bit.
But I think he does have the,
depending on the situation, but
But if you look at something also like The Holiday, he definitely has the ability to kind of just play it straight. I mean, in The Holiday, I don't know if you've seen it. I probably watch it at least 1 to 3 times a year, but he definitely has like has some of that energy where he's just like really enthusiastic, but it's still like toned down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's just, I mean, and maybe it's just if during interviews he's just like sitting or something and a little more contained than if he's just running around wild. I don't know. What's your favorite Jesus, what's your favorite Jack Black movie, or show, or moment, or
Favorite Jack Black property? I would probably say Kung Fu Panda. Probably one of my favorites. Though I do really like his character in Jumanji and the Holiday.
I haven't watched it probably in a few years, so I don't know how well it's held up. But I grew up watching Nacho Libre a
I
lot.
watch it at least once
My
a
mom
year.
loves that
It still
movie.
holds up pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, iconic moments. So I do like that, and it's something that I hadn't gotten sick of. So maybe I'll rewatch it and we'll see. Kung Fu Panda, definitely iconic, and I think he's one of the few reasons I also liked the Jumanji sequels for sure.
I feel
Yeah.
like when that came out, it was sort of the time of like, I feel like it kind of came for the Rock Kevin Hart duo, but I was like, oh, Jack Black, so good. Honestly, I take that
Yeah,
back.
he definitely makes
Jack
that for
Black
sure.
and Karen Gillan were definitely more the reason I went to see that movie than The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Especially the sequel.
Yeah,
Or
I've only seen that
yeah.
once. I've seen the first like reboot of it a couple times. Welcome to the Jungle I've seen a couple
Yeah.
times, but I only watched the next level like once. Not
Yeah,
as good,
yeah.
but that's okay.
I do like School of Rock, but I know the musical, the stage musical, more than I know the movie. Although, speaking on that though, when they did the musical, Alex Brightman is legit like just the theater version of Jack Black.
Oh, isn't he Beetlejuice?
He also plays
That's right.
Beetlejuice, but he played what's the guy's name in
Dewey.
School of Rock? Dewey. He played Dewey in the original
That makes sense. They
cast
sort of have very
for
similar
for the theater.
vocal
Well,
sound.
very similar vocal, kind of similar, like their face, like is fair, like if you put them next to each other, you would be able to tell who's who. But like they kind of just give a similar vibe. So I always, I've always been like, he's kind of the theater guy, the theater Jack Black.
Jack Black just needs to get in the theater now. But
well, maybe. I mean, they could. I want to see something with Jack Black and Alex Brightman. Why not that? And Alex Brightman's been getting into a lot of voice acting too.
Have you seen
So,
Has Been Hotel?
I haven't watched full episodes, but I've seen the scenes and clips that Alex Brightman
He's pretty good
is
at
in.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Not to take away from Jack Black, but I love Alex Brightman. So
Listen, that's fair.
yeah,
There's a lot of
I want something
Broadway
with both of
people
them in it.
Has Been Hotel.
Who produced?
It's made on Amazon, and it's A24,
Oh, okay.
which I thought
I was just wondering
very
if
interesting.
specifically a Broadway person did it.
Her name is Vivian something. I can't remember her last name. I think it starts with an M. I
Madrano.
was gonna say Maduro, but I knew that wasn't right.
She likes casting people who were involved in musicals and her favorite cartoons. So, yeah, there you go.
I mean, that definitely explains her entire cast. Because I feel like it's all Broadway, well-known cartoon voices.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What else do we... Oh, something I found out last night, which I think is iconic and fits very well, and I'm excited to see how this plays out. But Jack Black is playing Steve in the Minecraft adaptation.
Oh my god, if I liked Minecraft or knew anything about the lore, I would be so excited right now.
Right? I don't even know anything about Minecraft, but I might see it just for Jack Black.
I think, Jack Black has a tendency to elevate the projects he's in.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and from what I know of Minecraft, and this might be entirely wrong because I don't know it well at all, Steve is kind of not a doofus, but he's kind of clumsy, kind of off the rail. I don't know, like off the rails a little bit. So I feel like it fits well. Now, my question is this a live... I think this is a live action, not an animated.
Really? I swear I saw it was animated.
I don't know. I honestly can't tell. It's too early in production on IMDb.
Man, doing it live action would be crazy. I'm sure you could make it work.
I don't understand how that would... You can make it work, but Minecraft is the live action Minecraft adaptation.
I bet it's going to be like a kid playing Minecraft and Steve's going to come to life or something like that.
I imagine it being very much like the D&D movie.
Oh yeah, maybe it's like that. Maybe it's like more people playing the game see it one way but in the game it's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Like Free Guy,
Well, and it's
something
interesting
like
because
that.
Minecraft has such an iconic look of the 8-bit
Yeah, I don't know
like
why you would mess with
blocks.
that.
So, I don't know. But maybe it's just for the world. Who knows? We just need to stop adapting video games into movies.
See, but here's the
But
problem.
whatever.
For the majority of the really terrible ones, you get a movie that's good, like Mortal Kombat.
That's true. I will say our our generation, we had our era of crappy mid 2000s young audience movie book to movie adaptations. So I guess this next generation just gets their crappy video game to movie
Here's the
adaptions.
thing. This is also another episode entirely, but in short, I will just say that, looking at stuff like One Piece anime to One Piece live action, Avatar to Avatar, things like that, it really just comes down to, care for the material. You have to care about what you're making,
Mhm.
but also, and more importantly, studio interference and how much they get in the way of
Yeah.
the project. Because, for example, you could make probably a really kick ass. Oh, I don't know. What's a property you enjoy very much?
Walking Dead.
You could make a kick ass Walking Dead movie. But if you're not allowed to have certain creative freedoms, it'd probably be terrible.
True. Yeah.
And that's the other part of the puzzle is
But that's just it. I mean, that look,
that's
we
a
don't
whole
need to
other
get
topic.
into this. This episode is about Jack Black.
This is a bit of a shorter one, but that's okay. We just wanted to come and say we love Jack Black and we appreciate you. If you ever hear this podcast, know that we like you.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we'll tag him on the video and see if he
Hey, you never know.
comes to it.
Maybe
I don't know who runs his YouTube channel.
maybe he will.
Yeah. My question for you: have you seen Kung Fu Panda 4, do you plan
I
to?
have not seen Kung Fu Panda 4. When it's more commercially available, I probably will. I sort of spent my allocated personal mental budget of one movie on Dune 2.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I probably the same when it's more commercially available. I have a group of friends who one of them specifically loves those movies, and so we're probably just gonna watch all of them and watch the fourth one and order some takeaway and just enjoy Kung Fu Panda.
I do enjoy the franchise, I will say that. But also the problem is it's a kids movie, and I don't want to go to a theater full of kids.
What?
That's my other problem with going to see movies like that is I want to see them.
The last time I did that was for the Lego Batman movie, and
I think that was also the
it was
last
in
time I did
college,
that.
and we were definitely the oldest people there.
Actually, I think I did it more recently than that because I went to see. I can't remember. It might have been Into the Spider-Verse, but I was able to get reserved 21 and over seating. So we were like on a balcony and there was no kids.
See, you just gotta go to those movies, but at like the Cinebar or a bar.
Well, I have a Cinemark right next to me, and I don't know if you have a Cinemark near you, but they are super cheap and super nice. AMC is, I've realized, a complete ripoff.
Yeah.
I paid $20 for 2 tickets for a matinee, and then I spent $45 on concessions, but I got an extra large popcorn, large drink, 2 hot dogs.
Did you get the Dune bucket?
Good Lord, no. I got 2 hot dogs, and then I got some red vines, some bunch of crunch, and some cookie dough bites. And that was $45, which is a lot of money.
Yeah,
but
usually
definitely way better.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and if you're not spending as much money on tickets, you can kind of spend more on concessions.
Exactly.
If you feel
that's
like
a life hack.
Okay, I have 2 topic time questions for you, whether they're relevant or random. Number 1, a little more relevant. What franchise or media adaptation or general media would you like to see Jack Black in next?
That's a great question. Gladiator.
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be very interesting to see Jack Black in a horror movie, like a straight up
more than
Goosebumps is like a kid horror movie, which is
a
good.
Kid's horror movie, yeah.
A
full horror movie.
full-on Blumhouse horror, or something like.
Because I could also see him in something like Scary Movie, in that kind of comedic one. Right. We want you to be out of your niche.
I want,
Thomas Jacob.
Yeah, I want the reboot for the Wolfman to have Jack Black. Jack Black is the Wolfman.
Ooh. He'd be a really good Wolfman. Especially if he still has his quarantine beard. Yeah, he's got a really good beard. I think I want to see him. I can't remember if he has been in a Muppets, but I want him
He
in
has been in the
some
Muppets.
Muppets.
I would think.
Well, I want him to be like full on main character next to
The last
Kermit
time he was in the Muppets, he was playing himself. But
right,
I would like
right.
to see.
I want him playing a
like
character
Muppet Treasure
with
Island,
the Muppets.
but he's one of the pirates.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe him in like a medieval setting.
Ooh, that would
like
be
a Lord
interesting.
of the Rings fantasy setting.
Something. Okay, Jack Black in like Game of Thrones-esque could be very interesting.
More of a straight role, not like a straight up comedy, like going outside the realm of his
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like straight up.
No, more serious role. Ooh, interesting.
He's in the new season Lord of the Rings. He could be one of the dwarves.
Yeah, that's a tall dwarf, but yeah.
He could be in the Dungeons and Dragons sequel.
Ooh, that would be cool.
That should be a really good fit.
Yeah, I do want to see him in some more kind of serious.
Or more rom-coms.
It would be interesting
again.
For sure.
Bring back rom-com Jack Black.
Have you watched the Mandalorian episode that he's
I did, yes.
in? Is that more serious or
not so much? It's
Oh,
I mean, it's a little more serious, but it's not what we're talking about.
And it's like a one episode role. In Weird, the Al Yankovic story, he plays Wolfman Jack.
As soon as
so
I said
think that just tells us
I remember that from
that he just needs to play Wolfman.
Ooh,
yeah.
Werewolf in London.
That would be pretty. Oh, that would be so good. All right, Jack Black, you heard it here. Please go tell your agent. Cool. Second question, not so relevant, but if you had to change your name for like to have a stage name, what would your stage name be?
Oh, geez, I think about this all the time. I've come up with many different names for different mediums, like this is my author nickname, this is my acting nickname. But I can't remember any of them right now.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't really have, I've thought about it a few times.
I feel like it needs to be something kind of simple, but also punchy.
Mac Track. There you go.
Jack Black is like normal first name, punch in the last name.
And it's got to be iconic and unique and memorable, right?
Like Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. Easy to pronounce. Apparently that's the thing.
Unless your name is Kumail Nanjiani.
Would you do the Zendaya Aquafina route where you have one name, or would you do like a two name?
I think I would honestly, if I was going to use something like my name and I was just going to shorten it, I'd skip even all that. I would just be G.
G.
That's it.
G cities.
Nope. Skip the last name.
Oh, just G.
I don't like my last name.
Just G.
I don't want to be associated with it, really. Oof. More than I already am.
So it would just be a letter, basically. A single letter.
That'd be like my musician name.
Yeah.
It would just be G.
So would you, I guess that brings the question, this is so randomly where we're going off, but would you keep your first name and just change your last name, or would you change both first and last?
Ideally both, but I'm sort of attached at the moment to both of them.
That's
trying
fair.
to think.
That's
I've had
fair.
some good ones before. I was like, oh yes, this is a good one.
Yeah, I think the only conclusion I've come to for myself is my first name. I'd probably use my first name as my last name, but I have no idea what the first name would be.
Bendel.
Great. Great. And then it rhymes like Jack Black, so easy peasy.
Ben Kendall.
Ben Kendall? I don't know. I feel like that's too rhymy.
Just don't have a nephew, because then you could get killed.
Yeah. No, that's sure, true. Things to consider.
Don't change your name to Martha, Ben.
Although I'm really good at giving the responsibility speech, so maybe
you might be in trouble. Whatever you do, don't be an uncle. Just that's the takeaway.
Great.
Or just don't have a nephew.
I mean, I have a nephew cat and a niece puppy, so
those are probably not gonna.
But no humans yet.
Get killed and turn into Spider-Man. Probably.
I'll practice the speeches on them. No, I want to be Spider-Man. What is this?
Do you have an uncle to kill? Or to get mugged and murdered?
No.
Well, then.
No one's named Ben. Actually, I have a cousin-in-law named Ben.
Well, it doesn't have to necessarily be Ben. It just has to be any uncle, really.
That's true. It's the iconic moment, though. Anyways, before we divulge even further...
Do you want to do a random topic?
Thank you all for joining us on our Oh, yeah. I mean, were those not our? We can do an
We
additional
haven't done
random
one from
topic.
our
I was just.
jars in such a time that I feel it necessary.
That's fair.
Plus, we have a little
That's
extra
fair.
time, so let's see what I've pulled. I pulled a pink one.
Ooh.
And it says...
Are they not all pink?
What? No way.
Wait, that's iconic.
It says, talk about Jack Black.
No lie. Can you take a picture of that for the Instagram? We gotta prove it to the masses. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if we hadn't just done this episode, what would your answer to that sticky note be?
Oh, I'd probably just talk about how cool Jack Black is and how I wish he was my uncle.
Can we seriously talk about his beard? I'm on his IMDb page right now, and they're showing a clip
beard.
from. They're showing a clip from the Mario movie interviews, and God, it's just so majestic. But also his headshot is with a beard, so I'm assuming he still has his beard right now, because usually you keep your headshot up to date. But his headshot, talk about medieval movies. He looks like a Viking or a medieval king or like some kind of, that beard, so luscious. Oh, anyways.
Yes, I agree. I think he is, missing out on a whole genre that he hasn't really tapped into, which is the fantasy sci-fi genre. You get a taste in Mandalorian, but not a good one.
I'm surprised he wasn't immediately cast in like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, because I feel like that kind of is a niche. It's a interesting.
No disrespect to Chris Pine as a bard, but Jack Black is the ultimate bard.
Ugh. Yeah, well, and he already plays music, so like.
I'm sure
hello?
Chris Pine can sing, but can you imagine if it was Jack Black and Kyle just hanging out doing stuff?
That'd be so good. Can we have a new bard introduced into this?
Yeah, why not? Or he's going to be like an awesome paladin.
Yeah. Oh, man. Or just the king, like some kind of king.
I want him to be a main character, though, unless he's a king who loses his country.
That's true.
Ooh.
All right.
We won't give away all our ideas on camera, but we should make a medieval movie for Jack Black. As a king who lost his country.
I want it. Yeah.
And must now travel to get it back. And it'll be a musical.
Ooh, yeah.
Set to the music of Tenacious.
Well, and we can have Alex Brightman in it as well.
Yeah, he's the evil king.
There we
Alex
go.
Alex Brightman is the evil king. And long-lost brother.
And then they're like, well, we find out they're long-lost brothers, yeah.
Okay, stop giving away all our ideas.
Brothers. Okay. Anyways.
That's all for this episode.
Thank you all for joining us today on our Jack Black rant, deep dive, fanning, good guy. Go watch some movies.
And
become
have a damn good day.
Luchador. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.